Morning, everybody. Roll call, Becky.
McCoy.
Here.
Brownell. Here. Hawkinsmith.
Here.
Vanderwerf.
Here.
Conley.
Here. This morning, is there a proof of publication on file for FY 24-25 county proposed property tax dollars?
Yes.
Okay, anyone, first I'm going to ask if there is, I'm gonna have Deb speak, but first I'm gonna open it up asking, let everyone know, thank you for showing up today, and I know there's something online that people can watch, and let you know that we're gonna try to sort this through we're having this today because the state mandated this property tax mailing that you all got in the mail. And I understand it caused many people a great amount of alarm and confusion. We received hundreds of phone calls today, in the last few days actually, seeking clarification. Many of the complaints I heard were that people thought this was a tax bill, which it was not. On behalf of the board, I want to apologize for that confusion. It was a mandate that the state legislature required, and that they left us with zero room to edit the format or the content of the form to reflect our local community. I agree with the notion of providing information, and that this is a practice that we have done for many years in Polk County. I hope that today's hearing will clear up the confusion. I want to emphasize that Polk County did not raise our levy rate, and in fact lowered it for rural taxpayers. During this presentation that you'll learn here in just a few minutes from Deb Anderson, we will learn how to accurately calculate your taxes to account for the residential rollback that was not included in the mailer, along with information about the other taxing jurisdictions. I hope that in the future we can work together with our state legislatures to create something meaningful and a lot simpler if we have to mail something out again. So right now I'm going to ask Deb Anderson to come up and explain as best she can what was sent out in the mail.
Sorry.
Good luck, Deb.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Deb Anderson, the budget manager for Polk County. And just to try to give an overview of what is in that property tax mailer that went out, put together a little PowerPoint here. As Supervisor Connolly indicated, this is a provision that was mandated by the legislature by House File 718 during the last legislative session. That House file made numerous provisions to local taxation procedures. Among them is the mailer that went out and is the subject of today's public hearing. So that public hearing is required now by the legislature. The county auditor is required to mail out notice of that public hearing on March 20th, which everyone here would have received. And the content and format of that notice is specified by the state and the Iowa Department of Management. Polk County's role is merely to administer the mailing and pay for the cost of mailing that out. As Supervisor Connolly said, it's not a tax bill. It is just for information purposes only, and it relates only to city, county, and schools. It does not include other taxing jurisdictions such as the assessor or the county hospital or ag, other taxing entities in the county. On the front side of the mailer are 3 tables that outline proposed tax information for 3 different taxing entities: the county, the city, and the school. So if we take a closer look at one of those tables, I pulled out here the tax table for the county. And what is in there is on the first two columns, the current property tax and the current tax rate. That is the dollar amount that Polk County currently levies in the fiscal year that began on July 1 of 2023. So currently we levy $196 million in our countywide levy, and that is at a tax rate of $6.77. The next column, the effective tax rate, shows what the levy rate would be in the next fiscal year if we continued to generate $196 million. This dollar amount changes, the levy rate changes because of the increased tax base in the future fiscal year. Because our tax rate base went up significantly, a lower levy rate would be needed to generate $196 million. The far right two columns indicate what the county is actually proposing for the upcoming fiscal year. We are proposing to levy $218 million of property tax dollars at a tax rate of $6.77. The lower row is the amount that a rural resident pays in addition to the county-wide levy. These are for services that are specific to rural residents only. So they pay $6.77 plus the $4.43. On the reverse side of the mailing, there are two separate sections. The top section provides tax dollars for a specific taxing district. In this particular example, it is a property that is located in the city of Des Moines, the Seidel School District, the Northeast Gateway 1 Tax Increment Financing District, and in the county. In that particular district, each of these taxing authorities, it breaks out the total property taxes generated in that district. So Seidel brings in 239,000.
Small print.
It is small print. Polk brings in 124,000. Des Moines brings in 363,000, and all other taxing entities bring in 82,000. The far right column shows then what percentage of those total taxes go to each of the taxing entities. You can see that Polk County brings in 15.26% of all taxes levied in that particular taxing district. The bottom half of the mailer on the reverse side shows the impact on a property that would be assessed at $100,000. First column is the taxes that are due in the current year on the property assessed at $100,000. You see that for Polk County, property taxes due would be $370. The next middle column is the proposed tax rate. So what would be the taxes due in the upcoming fiscal year on a property assessed at $100,000? The taxes due for Polk County would be $314. The final far right column is the percentage change. In Polk County, a property assessed at $100,000 would go down by 15%. The taxes due would go down by 15%. I thought it might be helpful to explain how that is calculated, given that we're talking about a property that's assessed at $100,000 and it changes from year to year. The difference here is the residential rollback. The residential rollback is something that the state calculates. It is a formula that they put together to try to make the statewide average increase in taxable values for residential property not exceed 3% across the state. So they generate a formula and they tell us what percentage of an assessed value is actually taxable. That's what the rollback percentage is. What percent of assessed is taxable? So in the current year, 54.65% of a residential property is taxable. In the upcoming fiscal year, that rollback changes to 46%. So now only 46% of that property value is taxable in the upcoming fiscal year. And that's the reason with Polk County keeping the constant levy rate of $677, that's the reason the tax bill would go down on a property assessed at $100,000. One thing, though, I think that we should take into consideration is the change in assessed value. Many property owners saw an increase in their assessed value that was mailed out last March. On average, residential properties in the county did experience a 22% increase in their assessed value. But that's the point of the rollback. The rollback, again, tries to keep the assessed value or the taxable value of residential properties around 3%. So for Polk County, if there was a property assessed at $100,000 in 23-24, and we assume that it went up 22% in assessed value in 24-25, it would have an assessed value of $122,000. But now we apply the rollback, so a smaller percentage of that assessed value is taxable, 46% of that is taxable, which gets us to a taxable value of $56,000 versus $54,000 in the prior fiscal year. Applying the levy rate of $6.77 shows that in 24-25, a residential property that did experience a 22% increase in assessed value would have a tax bill from Polk County of $383, as compared to the current year tax bill of $370. That is a 3.45% increase in the taxes that would be due on a $100,000 property that experienced a 22% increase in assessed value from one year to the next. As Supervisor Connolly mentioned, there is a handout that the Department of Management put together. It's a 4-page informational handout that explains the property tax mailing in greater detail, and I provided the website from which that could be found.
You guys have questions for Deb?
It's located on,
What was that?
he asked where it was located.
Oh.
It's at this web address right here.
Got it.
Deb, that was a great explanation, and I think the piece of this that really concerned me was the fact that the mailing that we were required to send out didn't even address rollback, and you just did a really good job explaining rollback, so thank you.
I agree. Any other comment for Deb? Another, I would like to mention, further down in the resolutions, if you all stay, we will be setting a public hearing for the county budget in April sometime, I think the 23rd of April. And so that will only concern the county portion of our budget and what expenses we have. So that's when we'll take a deep dive into what we actually do for the county budget. As Deb mentioned, a lot of these things that you'll see include capital improvements, Broadway expansion, Sleepy Hollow, you know, all things that the county does concerning sewer, capital improvements, things of that nature that are all included in our county budget. So with that, I'm going to once again see if anybody would like to speak. I'm going to open up the hearing to see if anybody wants to speak on the mail piece, which is what we're required to do. Would anybody like to speak on the mail piece? If you would, you need to come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Just to clear up some more confusion, I'm Rick Smith. I own several properties in Des Moines and Polk County.
Do you have an address that you'd like to use today?
445 Northeast 55th Avenue.
Okay.
What's her examples on the mailing you sent us on the reverse side? The numbers weren't the same. I was trying to follow her, but my numbers are totally different on the letter I got, like for the Sadell portion.
They are different within each community. Mine in Ankeny is different than yours.
Well, I was following the letter for this particular meeting when she said reverse side. She said something about Sadell 314, mine says 519. So I don't know if there's more confusion in the letters.
That portion of the mailing is specific to the taxing district in which your property is located. So your property is located in a different taxing district than the example that I used.
My property's in Sadell.
But is it Sadell, Des Moines School, Gateway?
Sadell right here.
But what school district are you in?
No,
All your properties are in Sadell?
2 of them are.
Okay, well, that one you have specifically might not be in that school district. That's why it's 519 rather than the Sadell School District. I mean, they're all
I'm a
different.
block, it is in Sadell district. My houses are a block from Sadell. My kids go to Sadell.
But the example we're using is Sadell with the Des Moines School District.
Excuse me, what?
The example we're using is Sadell with the Des Moines School District.
This is Sadell, Polk County.
We have, okay, I guess I missed on another comment too I wanted to make. We do have, Jamie, do you want to come up and explain also? We're going to have, anybody that has specific questions to their properties, Jamie's going to have folks upstairs, I think, too.
Sure. Jamie Fitzgerald, Polk County Auditor. I will have my staff available for anyone that has questions about the form. This is a state form, but we'll be happy to answer your question and everyone else's. It's in room 200, so you go up the elevator, you go north, it's the second door. We will have my staff there. We'll have ample amount of time to do it. So anyone that has questions on these forms, we're happy to take those. But, you know, like I said, this is a state form. Once you get the DOM link, everything makes a lot more sense than just getting this cold in the mail. So hopefully in the future when we do this, they'll include the instructions as well.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jamie. Any other questions? Sure, come on up.
Don Bergmeyer, 1102 21st Street, here in Des Moines. Did you know that you can be held responsible for repairing the street where you live on because there is a sinkhole in the street? Now that they are going to raise the property tax to maintain current level of service to Polk County residents. I found out that the surrounding counties in Iowa receive the same letter. It is true we need some taxes. In June 2023, I contacted the city to report a sinkhole in the street that appeared big enough for a car tire to fall into. The city has no description of what is under the large steel plate that has been covering the sinkhole since last June. The sinkhole is in the city street, not on my property. My house is on the corner. The city put a dye down the neighbor's house in the sewer. The dye came down his sewer around the corner to my house sewer where it tees into the main line. The dye continued to run on down the street, a block to University where the city crew could see the dye come out. The city is also holding my neighbor responsible, but his house is not on the same street where the sinkhole is. Are you next? In other words, will the city come after you? The city claims that our sewer line created the sinkhole. The city stated that a public nuisance exists and the neighbor and I are responsible. The city has failed to fix the hole in the street. The city states that we are responsible for the repair without telling us that the repair will be over $10,000. As you know, living in Des Moines, we are responsible to know everything. The city is acting illegally and unconstitutionally by declaring that property owners are responsible for a sinkhole in the street. The action by the city violates 8th and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution, protecting us against cruel and unusual punishment. Jason from the city testified to the administrative law judge last December that he did not know where exactly this sinkhole is. If the city can't produce a witness that has personal knowledge of a sinkhole or how such a problem exists, it is hearsay. Jason's testimony about what someone else told him or what someone else said, wrote, or did is a hearsay witness. Hearsay testimony is not admissible in an Iowa court of law. I believe Jason's statements were hearsay and violated our right of confrontation. In 2021, a couple in the city of Urbandale went to court against the city stating, the public duty doctrine generally comes into play only when there is a confluence of two factors. First, the injury to the plaintiff was directly caused or inflicted by a third party or other independent force. Secondly, the plaintiff alleged a governmental entity or actor breached a uniquely governmental duty. I believe there is a breach under the sinkhole that the city of Des Moines created.
Mr. Bergman,
Yes.
I understand, I believe I even saw it on the news about your sinkhole in front of your property. There's not a whole lot this county can do. If you want to send that into the record, your comments, we'll put it into the record because it is a public hearing. But really, I don't think you need to continue with the reading of it. But if you'd like to leave that, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Yes.
My name is Heidi McNamara. I live at 803 South R Street in Indianola. I don't live in Des Moines. Thank you. I go to Don's house on a regular basis. I have parked on the sinkhole, the same sinkhole of which he's talking of. If I shall fall through that sinkhole or if my car falls through it, I will not be suing Don or any of his neighbors. I will be suing the city because I believe it is the city's responsibility. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Art Whitmack, Taxpayers Association of Central Iowa, live at 14265 Elmcrest Court. Your observations at the time that this was rolled out were absolutely right. It is confusing. Our association has been working since it came out with probably, Angela, as many calls as you've received. Deb, that was probably one of the best presentations on property taxes I've ever seen. They are the least liked, most irritating tax of all. And the thing that frustrates me is so frequently our members don't come to these meetings. Well, first of all, some of them are at 9:30, and that's hard if they're working. They only get agitated at the time they get their property tax bill in August, and then they go through the roof. This House File 718, passed a year ago, passed the legislature with only one dissenting vote. There was only one Democrat that voted against it. All Republicans voted for it. All Democrats, less one from Iowa City, voted for it. So this is as close to bipartisanship as I've ever seen. And I think it's a testament to the fact that property taxes in this state are confusing, and a lot of people don't fully understand why they're paying what they're paying for. I commend the supervisors. When we started getting copies of scans and photographs of these statements, I knew it was time for some education. The one that I was given from a Polk County resident said, "Whitmack, great, my property tax change is down 15.14% in the county." That's the example on the $100,000, right, Deb? Boy, if I got that statement and looked at it at face value, I'd be skipping. Now, the thing I think that Jamie's office is going to do is take it from that $100,000 example and apply it to your own property. And as we've heard from Deb, those property values went up. I want to say on behalf of my good friend Randy Ripperger, he does not establish the property tax values. He just says this is what the property is worth. It gets rolled back, it gets reviewed by the state, they have to be plus or minus 5%. So it's not Randy's office that takes the heat, should take the heat. So I did put the individual's property into another Department of Management tool that makes an estimate of the specific property using the specific address for this particular individual. In the Des Moines Public Schools, the Polk County non-rural, in the city of Des Moines, I'll just use Polk County for example. On the tax statement, it shows an anticipated reduction for that $100,000 home of 15.14%. That's not right because of all the things that Deb went through with the increase in assessments. That supposed reduction of 15.14% is for this specific property holder still a marvelous reduction of 3.18%. But if you looked at this and you thought, boy, I can go to the casino tomorrow and spend my property's tax savings, slow down, go to room 220? 200, and find out how it applies to you. Now, also got one from Dallas County. If you look at their sheet, Dallas County, in this particular property, was anticipating an increase of 2.47%. Again, that's based on $100,000. When you take that specific property to the assessor, the Dallas County Assessor's website, and you pull out what the difference in assessment was, as opposed to a 2.47%, it's going to be 14.18%. That shows you why, as was pointed out, this thing is more confusing than it is. But keep in mind, it's the result of an effort of a legislature who worked together with one dissenting vote to say, we need to provide more transparency. I don't know whether they've done it or not, but at least it's a step before August when we get our bills. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Art. Anybody else want to speak to this?
I just have a question.
You want to step up, please? Name and address? Sorry. It's the rules.
My first name is Dana, my last name is Tate. I live at 2539 Arthur Avenue. And this form that you sent in the mail, I've been in my property almost 15 years, and it's the first time I've ever got a form like this. So that's the reason why I'm here, because I want to understand what it is all about and why would I just now get one.
Mandated by the state, that's why you received it.
Okay, so was that because of the House file?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to close the hearing and ask for a motion. Okay, there's no action today. I'm going to ask for a motion to close this hearing, though.
Move to close.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort? Conley?
Yes. Okay. Let's move on to the,
Regular board meeting.
yeah, we're going to adjourn this and move on to the next one. Want to move to
Move to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes. Any special claims?
None.
Action on the bill assumed by the county auditor. Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes. Is there anyone that would like to speak and have public comments right now? We have public comments from the audience on anything that you'd like to talk about. Anything? Anybody want to speak? Okay, step up.
Hello again. My name is Heidi McNamara. I live at 803 South R Street in Indianola. I am not a Des Moines resident. One issue that needs to be addressed in not just Iowa, but is a problem in every state, is the Department of Human Services. Is that something that we can talk about today? Because it's not okay that DHS lies in reports and takes children without evidence, but for someone like me who had her rights to her first child illegally terminated by a biased judge in Warren County, it is not okay. There is no accountability for court corruption. There's no accountability for DHS workers. There's no accountability for attorneys that refuse to do their job. The CFI worker at Children and Families of Iowa coerced me. Coercion is a federal offense. I don't know the title offhand. I believe it's 18 USC 2422. She purposely and deliberately irritated me so she could use my reaction against me. And all 5 of my court-appointed attorneys that I've had this entire year did not see the need to argue my case.
I'm sorry that you've gone through all of that, but your issue is really with Department of Human Services. And you should work through maybe the, do you have somebody in the Polk County, in the Dallas or Warren County Health Services that you could go through?
You mean like DHS?
No, you should have a local county health services. Maybe they could help you.
That sounds like the Department of Health and Human Services.
Every county has a health
Every
department.
county has a local health department. We have one through here. It's now through Polk County, but you should have a local health department.
There is a local
Warren
health
County.
department in
Annie, do you know
Indianola.
who it is specifically in Warren County? Okay, but they do have a local health department in Warren County. Matt, did you have a?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest you also should contact the state ombudsman's office.
I did try that,
Yeah.
and they told me that they could not help me if a case has already been started.
Okay,
They told me that I would have to win my daughter back at the appeal if they were to help me. So if they can't help before and after, there's no point in having an ombudsman.
sure.
And I have never laid a hand on my daughter.
Like I said, you need to contact the Warren County Health Department. I think, did you have the name, Scott?
I'm all right.
I work on the situation, she's been connected with Warren County staff and public service officials, et cetera, et cetera. I've been involved with the lawyers that she's been working with, also with Human Services, Department of Health, all the other things. I think you'll agree with me on that, correct?
I do.
She is constantly, continually working that whole thing from a Warren County perspective. There's nothing Polk County to do here. Susan and the other people you're talking to in Warren County, those are the folks you have to continue to work with.
The Department of Human Services in Warren County is corrupted. I'm no longer allowed back there, so there's no
Okay,
point.
Like I said, we can't do anything here for you in Polk County.
I disagree.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, anybody else want to speak to the board? All right, I'm going to close the hearing and go on to permits.
Number 6, renewal application for Class E retail alcohol license for Casey's at 2541 Northwest 66th Avenue. Number 7, renewal application for Class B retail alcohol license for Get and Go at 4224 Northwest 2nd Street. Number 8, renewal application for Class C retail alcohol license for Stan's Part 2 at 4275 Northwest 2nd Street. 9 and 10 are renewal applications for Class C retail alcohol license and outdoor service area permits for Jester Park Golf Course and Terrace Hills Golf Course.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Van Ort? Conley?
Yes. We have petition.
Number 11, petition to suspend taxes and special assessments and authorizing chairperson to sign the application and affidavit for redemption of parcel for 1435 Hutton Street.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort? Conley?
Yes. Resolutions.
Number 12, resolution authorizing the auditor's office to publish notice of public hearing for April 9th on disposal of county interest in real estate. Number 13, resolution authorizing the auditor's office to publish notice of public hearing for April 9th to consider plans, specs, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Heeland Wetland Project. Number 14, resolution approving cost share grant contract for Urban Water Quality Initiative Grant with Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship. Number 15, resolution accepting bid from Boulder Contracting for bridge deck overlay and rail retrofit project. Number 16, resolution approving agreement with Every Step Care and Support Services. Number 17, resolution approving submittal of regional application to the U.S. EPA Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Phase 2 Implementation Funding Program. Number 18, resolution approving weatherization contract with Iowa Department of Health and Human Services. Number 19, resolution approving settlement of condemnation appeal related to a property acquisition.
Move the resolutions collectively.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Yes.
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 20, resolution approving agreement for services with datalakehouse.io.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 21, resolution approving subordination agreement regarding property at 1420 Goddard Court. 22 and 23 are resolutions approving agreements with Beck Steve Limited to address lead hazard repairs at 1304 55th Street and 704 Pleasant View Drive.
I'll move those resolutions.
Second.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 24, resolution authorizing the auditor's office to publish notice of public hearing for April 23rd on proposed fiscal year 2024-2025 budget.
I'll move it.
Second.
Again, this is the resolution I mentioned that we'll go over the staff, or the budget, and take a deep dive into the budget and vote on it for the public hearing. I actually just have the public hearing on the 23rd of April. Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort? Conley?
Yes.
Number 25, resolution acknowledging disclosure documents related to Series 2024A and 2024B general obligation bond issuance.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 26, resolution approving acceptance of Operation Underground Railroad donation. Number 27, resolution approving software as a service agreement with Shadow Dragon for the purchase of a software license.
I'll move those resolutions.
I'll second, and I do have a question on this. If I could just, Sheriff Schneider, ask a quick question related to these items. Can you tell me what we're doing here?
Sure. Kevin Schneider, Polk County Sheriff. And it sounds like all kinds of cloak and dagger stuff when we're talking about Underground Railroad, Shadow Dragon.
Yeah.
And first of all, what I want to do is explain what I do know, which is not a lot because I'm up here and we're talking technical stuff, which is way down here. I started when we had bag phones, you know. And but we have one of the top leading technical people working at the Polk County Sheriff's Office. And because of the investment that you folks made in this gentleman and the investment you made in our new building where we have what I call the steel room, but it's called a Faraday room, and we take all the electronic equipment into that room, which keeps criminals from being able to access their cell phones and their computer and wipe out their historic data. And we're able to investigate crimes, help find people that are being human trafficked, help find people that are in child pornography. And what that does is keeps that safe. And we couldn't have done that without you folks investing in us and building this building and giving us the tools to do this. Our technician that we have up there is one of the only ones in the Midwest, and I don't think very many in the United States, that are assigned to the Secret Service Task Force because of his quality, capabilities, and the equipment that we have. So this company sees that. They're a nationwide company, and they are giving us a grant to promote and move forward with their investigative tools to retrieve electronic data from computers and cell phones. So all that, with all that cloak and dagger names that they have, but that's basically what they do.
So the railroad company, as I understand it, gave you the grant to buy the software, part of the software that's called Shadow Dragon?
Shadow
So
Dragon.
I asked the question during agenda review and thought, this is weird.
Yes, it sounds quite strange, but yes, it's that company, and they work with us. They provide that Shadow Dragon, which helps also them as far as investigating the what we call the Underground Railroad, or the human trafficking part of
Right.
it. So,
Just
and again,
sweet.
yeah, it was really good, and it's a little return of investment to Polk County for what you folks invested for the county taxpayers here at the Sheriff's Office. So.
Well, I appreciate that, and I know we've had two really bad actors in the child pornography ring charged here locally, one being in my district, and appreciate what you're doing here.
You bet. We try to do everything we can to keep the community safe. So.
Thank you.
All right.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson? Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 28, resolution authorizing the award of an RFP to OpenGov.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 29, resolution approving March 2024 manufactured home abatements.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Hawkinson?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 30, resolution approving the recommendation of the Polk County Assessor for allowance of the homestead tax credit.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
31 and 32 are resolutions approving community development grants for the Des Moines Arts Festival and the Des Moines Arts Center.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 33, resolution approving community sponsorship awards.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes.
Number 34, resolution approving community betterment grant awards.
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes. Communications.
35, notice that the Board of Supervisors will convene as a canvassing board on April 2nd to canvass votes cast for the Des Moines special election held March 19th.
Receive and file.
Number 36, City of Altoona, notice of hearing regarding a boundary adjustment annexation moratorium agreement.
Refer to the Public Works and County Attorney, please. Budget actions,
None.
appointments,
Move the appointments.
Second.
roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell?
Yes.
Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
You have a canvas today?
Yes. Roll call.
McCoy?
Yes.
Brownell? Hawkinsmith?
Yes.
Van Ort?
Yes.
Conley?
Yes. Okay, stick around, we got a canvas. That was a marathon.